Welcome back. This is part 2 of the Dynatech ignition install on my 2009 WR450. So this is my light adventure bike, my moto camping BDR 4 service road 2-track bike. I have nearly 5 gallons running on this with the front tank and the rear auxiliary tank. I have auxiliary lighting. I put a Tusk fan on here. I'm running a Recluse auto clutch, the Z-Start Pro. And so I've had this bike for a while. I've done a lot of updates to it. And last season, I put a high output stator to be able to power all of my accessories. After I put the high output stator on the bike, it would not start with the e-start. Had to kick the bike each time. So when I went to do a refresh this last season, I decided that I was going to put the Dynatech on there, put a new starter, and also put a new battery. So this video was the install of the Dynatech and my initial thoughts after getting it installed. So I'll give you guys a little rundown on what you get with the kit. So I'm not going to show you every step, but you got to get the seat off. You got to get the left panel off. This is what you see underneath. There's 3 plugs, and then the stock ECU is in a little rubber boot. So take your time disconnecting the 3 connectors. Use a little screwdriver and stick them in there and pop the plugs out. So once you get the ECU out of the bike, this is what you're going to be left with. The stock ECU in the rubber boot. Mine was a little difficult to get out, but once you slip it out of the boot, you're going to reuse that. The Dynatech does not fit in there well, but you can make it work, and it fits pretty sano. So here is the switch that I showed you guys in the first video. Has the settings on it as a quick reference, and then you just basically tuck it away inside the bike somewhere easy to get to. So see, it's not fitting in there great. It doesn't look good, but once it's in there, it's pretty dang secure. There's a little tab that the rubber boot slips down onto. So once you get the rubber boot fit in there, I didn't even end up using any of the zip ties, as it fit really well. The little adjustment selector switch, I just tuck back into the inlet to my airbox, and that way I can just open up the airbox lid, pull it out, adjust it, close the airbox, and I'm good to go. Don't have to take off the side panel. The rest of the lines, they routed very easily around the outside of the ECU, and there's a big gap back behind the ECU that you're able to fit all the unused plugs. So there we go. I got the Dynatech ignition installed, and man, it made a world of difference how strong the bike idles. The bike starts immediately now without hesitation. Did not have to replace the aftermarket starter that I put in 3 seasons ago. And I took the bike out just up and down the street. Got some new Tusk D Sport tires on. Went down to a 48 tooth rear sprocket, 14 in the front. So I'm running pretty high gearing, but this is my my light adventure bike. So it gets some saddlebags and rear bag, and I weight this thing down, and you know, if I ever have to hop out on the road, this thing will cruise at 60, 65 comfortably, even with a 5-speed with this gearing. So went with a new BMO black and gold O-ring chain, and here at the front, like I said, I got the Tusk D Sport on the back, and then on the front I got an Anthrax XC Enduro, which is a DOT tire, or at least it says DOT on the side of it. So it'll do fine for the purpose that I need it to, just to connect trails. It looks a lot like the Golden tire and the Shinko Fatty, pretty much identical to the Shinko Fatty. So yeah, also put in some new Tusk front brake pads with the oversized rotor. I had the carbon pads before, the red EBC pads, and I recently learned that those are not good to run unless you're dragging the brake, because they do not heat up. They do not heat up. So when you need that initial bite, they are a little slow to react. So there we go. I would say the Dynatech ignition was a success, and I can't wait to get out and actually test this thing out on the trail, off-road. So that video, part 3, where I can test the different maps, is still to come. So stay tuned for part 3. Thanks, guys.